Comtech Now, where we will be discovering the world of animation, motion picture, video, and film. Imagine, only a century ago, film did not exist.
The best you could get was a lamp with pictures circling around it. Now we could see lifelike 3D movies, or go to the theater with surround sound audio to enhance our viewing quality. To see how it all happened, let's go back to see where it all started.
Created by William Green on celluloid film. Meanwhile, Thomas Edison and the Lumiere brothers were rivaling to create the first moving film projector. They created the cinematograph and the kinetoscope. People were amazed by film. They kept coming back to kinetoscope parlors, which showed moving pictures on the walls, even though they were horrible quality. These movies were all silent. Until the sound era, movies would remain mute.
Innovators in photography designed a camera and projector apparatus called the cinematograph, which became the basis of cinematic projection. Patented in 1895 by Louis Lumiere, the cinematograph was much unlike its predecessor, Thomas Edison's kinetoscope. The cinematograph was a portable motion picture camera, a film printing unit, and also a projector. To promote their new invention, Auguste Lumiere planned a clever publicity program of several private screenings which generated much public interest and speculation before the official unveiling on December 28, 1895. Starting their lineup of films is the Lumiere brothers' first film, Sortie des Usines Lumière à Lyon. The most important development in this area of special techniques occurred arguably in 1899, with the production of the short film Matches and Appeal. A 30-second stop-motion animated piece encouraged the audience to send matches to the British troops fighting in the Boer War. The technique single-frame animation began to be further on explored in 1907 by Edwin S. Porter in the Teddy Bears. In the first of these, the toy bears were made to move, apparently on their own, by using frame-by-frame animation. The technique got to Europe almost immediately, and Segundo de Chaumont and others at Pathé took it further, adding clay animation.
In France, it became a military mobilization technique. In Italy, diva films with an unhappy female star surrounded by luxury were popularized. In Russia, film slowly but surely died out for several years because of the Civil War. As we roll into the 20s, allow me to introduce one of the biggest developments in motion pictures ever, the introduction of sound. Sound was brought about in the late 1920s. Along with it came many problems. Many silent actors could no longer keep their jobs due to incorrigible diction, and many deaf people could no longer enjoy the same afternoon pastime of watching movies with their friends.
Connection with the plot and actors. Some 30 years after the introduction of sound, another new innovation of motion picture history was released.
The introduction of 3D motion pictures brought the audience even closer to the movie. The classic pair of red and blue glasses may have added a comedic effect to everyone who wore them, but once the movie started, that was when the real magic happened. With one red lens and one blue lens, the two simultaneous images being projected onto the movie screen, and of course red and blue, only entered their respective lenses. Your brain puts the images together, and voila, 3D film.
Thank you to Linda and Samantha for sharing with us your knowledge.
Now that we have revisited the past, let us look into the future. What will film be like then, and what impressive technologies have already been invented?
Central partner also when you go to the theaters. Now, not only can you view a movie in 3D, you can hear it in 3D too, with Dolby Atmos and Aural 3D surround sound systems, which are the two most leading surround sound systems available today. To understand how they work, you must first look at what sound was like before. In the very beginning, when sound first came to theaters, it was through a mono system, with only one speaker. Eventually, two speakers were added to either side, creating a stereo system and allowing the audience to hear sounds on the left and right. Then we have the 5.1 and 7.1 channel systems, with speakers added all around. The Dolby Atmos system completely abandons the use of channels and instead uses Panther array, allowing each speaker to be controlled individually and give a precise sensation of movement. Speakers are also added overhead to give a complete surround experience. However, this system is highly expensive to install as it requires special equipment and software. The Aural 3D system uses a more adaptable 11.1 channel and employs the use of 3 levels of sound to stimulate the way our ears listen in real life. 3D audio really brings a whole new level to the way we hear sound.
Explored the audio side of things, I explored the abstract side. So I ask you this, movies are huge things, are they not? So how on earth can they be stored in a small cloud of gas? Well, it turns out that scientists have been able to store single images in gas for years. Now they're taking it all a step further. Scientists at the National Institute of Standards and Technology have found a way to make this impossible feat a reality. The gas that they use to store the movie in, rubidium, has a special property in which the atoms split apart from each other when there is a magnetic field. So control over the field is equivalent to control over the atom. Photons are then emitted into this cloud of gas, and as long as the field is on, these photons are trapped. Turn the field off and the cloud of gas expels all the photons, releasing the images that were stored inside.
Has been ongoing for a while now, and has increased substantially as the date of its release grows closer. Not only is it because it is an adaptation of one of Tolkien's most famous works, but also because of the sheer amount of new technologies that it contains. The epic has been filmed with a never-before-used high frame rate of 48 frames per second, as opposed to the standard 24, giving it unusual clarity and definition. 48 RED cameras were used to film the movie in 3D. So how is 3D currently filmed? 3D cameras use a rig of 2 or more cameras filming the same scene at the same time at the exact speeds and angles a human brain would view it. Both images are then projected back to the viewer and require polarized glasses to view. Due to the immense bulk of these cameras, it is impossible to place the 2 lenses side by side at the proximity required, thus requiring the use of mirrored rigs to reflect the image. 3D imaging, combined with 3D sound, will make any movie-going experience unforgettable and realistic.
Okay, so today here I'm standing with Meg Zhang, and so Meg, today I'm going to ask you some questions about movies.
Sure.
So how often do you watch movies?
I go to the movie theaters about once every 3 months. However, I watch movies, like one movie at least once every 2 weeks.
Quite nice. And so what kind of developments do you want to see in the future of motion pictures, like other than plot and character?
Yeah, I actually want to see if they can kind of like go like retrograde and actually not like so like kind of deep prove, I guess, like the way it's filmed. So
like
not as
stagnant?
Yeah, not as clear, not as you know, the sound isn't as good. I don't know. I just really like those type of movies, and I
So
love
you're
like
a vintage girl.
yeah, I love old movies. So
Okay, so right now I'm standing here with Matthew Zhang, and so Matthew, today I'm going to ask you some questions about movies. So, how often do you go watch movies?
Probably like once or twice a month, give or take.
And what kind of developments do you want to see in the future of movies? Like, do you want a better sound, better graphics?
Well, to be honest, the system right now, it works okay. I think they could like expand this theaters a little bit so more people could like get in to watch a movie and, you know, maybe project the sound a little bit more.
Sounds good. So today I'm standing here with Alan Lee, and Alan, today I'm going to ask you some questions about film. So how often do you watch a movie?
Well, about once every 14 years or so.
Sounds decent. And what kind of technological developments do you want to see in the future of motion pictures?
Well, I was really excited about the 48 frames per second capture in The Hobbit. I thought it really brought out the film and really just made a beautiful film.
So in the future, do you want an increased frame rate instead of the natural 24?
Yeah, I think it would be a lovely thing to introduce to new films around the globe because it really smooths out the film and makes the experience a lot more enjoyable for viewers.
Okay. So today I'm standing here with Anton Wong, and Anton, today I'm going to ask you some questions about film.
Okay.
So how often do you watch movies?
Twice every month.
Sounds good. And what kind of technological developments do you want to see in the future of movies?
I want to be able to smell what's going on in the movies.
So you almost want a 4. So today I'm standing here with Caroline Liu, and Caroline, today I'm going to ask you some questions about film.
Okay.
So how often do you watch movies?
Not very often, maybe once every few months.
And what kind of technological developments do you want to see in the future of film?
I think it would be great to further develop special effects, to really feel like we're in a different world.
So you really want that 40 sets, don't you?
Yeah, that would be great.
Seconds. Okay.
In conclusion, the history of motion pictures varied in different ways and had its ups and downs, but altogether had a great impact on today's movies.
From a silent film to today's innovative 3D film, audiences across the entire world have learned to enjoy movies anywhere at any time.
And that concludes today's show of Comtech Now. We'll see you next time.